Welcome back to another video. My name is Berthrode, and today we are going to be ranking the greatest anime fights. Now, I haven't seen all of these because there's a lot on here. This is a very big list. I didn't make this list myself, so we are going to be ranking them off what I know about them if I don't know them. Now, of course, if I say I don't know them, just give it with a grain of salt. And if you are one of those people that skip to the end because, you know, it's a tier list, some people do, that's fine. I have no issue with that. And if you see one that's like, wow, that's out of place, just assume I haven't seen it. But also that may not be the case. So let's just get into it, I guess. Let's stop stalling. We have Gojo versus Toji. This is a pretty good fight. I would say like A tier. It was pretty hype, had everything going for it right. But yeah, nothing that really puts in S tier. Chopper versus Kumadori. This is when Chopper had aura. It's just hard for me to really put it any higher after Chopper losing the aura. Honestly, I'm going to have to go C. Like, yes, Chopper had aura, but Kumadori didn't really do anything. Luffy versus Blueno. Again, this is one that's like, this is kind of just Luffy showing off Gear 2. Blueno really didn't do much. I'm going to go C. Yamato versus Kaido. Again, not really the main fight here, but I will say B because it still looks very great. Ryoku. See, I dropped the show, so I didn't make it to this point. But the fights were pretty cool, so I'm going to say B. I'm not going to put it much higher. Luffy versus Usopp. Love this fight. I'm going to absolutely go A tier. Also, if you guys like seeing my content, love seeing my content, I stream every single day in the description. If you guys want to come say hey, talk to me, whatever. Now we have Kiku versus Kanjuro. Pretty cool story-wise, like building up, but the fight itself was kind of mid. I'm going to have to go C tier. Luffy versus Lucci 2. This is going to have to go D tier. If you want to know why, it's because this was clearly just to show that Luffy's so much better than Lucci. I mean, this was a wash, right? Like, this was a squash match. Luffy had no chance of losing here. It's going D tier. Zoro versus Ryuma. This one was solid. I'm going to give it B tier. Sanji versus Jabra. It's a C tier. It's just not that good. Whitebeard versus Akainu or Akainu. I would say B tier. That was a pretty solid fight. Luffy versus Arlong. Honestly, I'm going to say A tier. Love that fight. So I'm guessing it's going in order of show, but it's weird we started off with JJK, but the rest of these have been... No, and then there's also Kill la Kill mixed in. I don't know why it's like this. Maybe just because there's so much One Piece it's on here. I don't know. Roger versus Whitebeard. This is going to have to go D tier. This literally just showed a clash, and that's about it. Yeah. Luffy versus Crocodile. Another A tier. Water Luffy was kind of stupid, though. Luffy versus Katakuri. This is the first one that I've debated on putting S tier, but I think I'm still going to put it A tier. There was just... If it was just Luffy versus Katakuri the whole time one-on-one, that girl getting involved kind of sucked, but I'm still to say A tier. Luffy versus Doflamingo. Now, this is what I'm going to put S tier. Best arc. Probably best fight in this show, from Luffy at least. I'm going to have to put it S tier. Ichigo versus Byakuya. Again, this is another one that's like overrated. Honestly, C tier wasn't really that interesting in my opinion. Ichigo versus Okiura. I'm actually on this fight right now, so I'm going to put it A tier because I haven't finished the fight, but it might be C or S tier, so I'm going to put it A tier. Luffy versus Kaido. Sorry, let me not scroll up because there's going to be a lot. I'll show all the tiers at the end, don't worry guys. But Luffy versus Kaido. I think this fight is overrated. I don't think it's bad. Like, it's not going in C, but I think it's going to have to go B. Introduce Gear 5, which I honestly have mixed opinions about. I think the powers and ability are cool, but I just hate how he stops caring about everything. Like, especially in Egghead. Small spoilers here. Actually, if I don't say who, it's not really spoiling anything. But someone gets shot right in front of Luffy that he cares about, like in the chest. And he's in Gear 5. He just starts laughing. Like, he doesn't even care. It's like, dude, you just watched, like, one of your friends, somebody you respect, get shot and killed. And you are just going to sit here and laugh. I don't care if it's the ability, like... now, this is going to be a big spoiler, so skip ahead like 15 seconds if you're not caught up. But then when Bonnie gets it, like, she's serious. Why can't you be serious, bro? Like, I don't know. It just makes me mad, like, how goofy and laughy he is. Whenever, like, against Kaido, he just died. And then, like, example, Egghead, he watched somebody die, and he's just still laughing about, like, no, dude. So it's going to have to go B tier, because the fight was good, but... Yeah, I don't like how non-serious he took it. Is this the one? I don't know if I've seen this one yet, but it's a Rukia fight, so I know it's not going to be good, so I'm putting it in D, I'm going to be honest. Ichigo versus Aizen, not one I've seen, but I'm going to put it in A tier because I think it'll be A tier, so yeah. Zoro versus King, this was an S tier fight, absolutely fantastic. Second best fight in all One Piece. Sanji versus Queen, fraud and fraud. Both of them are frauds. It's going C tier for me. I don't like Sanji, so yeah. Kenpachi versus Unohana. I haven't seen this. I do know, like, the backstory behind this because I got spoiled on it. So I will say... I'll say B tier. That's probably where I think it would be. Kenpachi versus Gremmy. I heard this fight was sick, but I'm still going to go B tier because I do think Kenpachi's probably just going to slam him. Kenpachi versus Ichigo. Okay, this one was pretty good. I'd actually say A tier. It was a solid fight. This fight was stupid, in my opinion. I really didn't enjoy it that much. It wasn't a bad fight, like it's not D tier, but yeah, I was pretty much done with this arc after Uryu took up half of it doing fucking nothing. But anyway, that's besides the point. I'm gonna have to put it C tier just because Kenpachi was just toying with them for no reason. Like, just end the fight, bro. C tier. Tough. I haven't really seen much of this yet because I think it like just started where I'm at. But Toshiro versus Harry Bell. I mean, Toshiro's a fraud, so I'm just going to have to assume this is going to be a D tier fight. Zoro versus Mihawk. This is still, to this day, the best fight in all of One Piece. It's going S tier. Hands down. The best moment in One Piece. Still. I do not care. Ichigo versus Grimmjow. Love this fight. Love it, love it, love it. I think I'm putting it in an S. I don't have a complaint with Ichigo versus Grimmjow. Grimmjow's my favorite character in Bleach. Well, my second favorite character, because Pesce is the GOAT. So I'm going to have to put it S tier. This is a great fight. I think I'm just seeing this start as well. Kyoraku versus Stark. Stark just is now about ready to fight. So I don't know. Stark seems interesting though. I have to put it B tier because I have no thoughts on it. Oh my god. D tier. Anything Uryu is going D tier. Ichigo versus Renji. This is what happened way earlier, right? This isn't anything newer. It's in Soul Society. Yeah, this was the start of Renji's unbeatable streak. He like the LeBron of Bleach, going on a streak that will never be defeated. But his just isn't good. Most fights lost in a row, for sure. This is a C tier fight because it is a squash match, even though Ichigo was a very new sword, what's it called? Soul Reaper. So yeah, C tier. Yamamoto versus Yhwach. I have no idea about this. My only opinion about Yhwach is that he's a Quincy, and the only Quincy we have in the show is an annoying piece of shit and the worst character ever created in any anime. So off that basis, I'm gonna put it C tier because I also don't like Yamamoto that much so far. So I'm gonna put it C tier. I know it's probably crazy, it's probably a really good fight, but it's a Quincy, so I don't want to see it. Frieren versus Aura. See, every clip I see of Frieren, I always see Stark. Stark looks cool. I don't ever see anything about Frieren. I don't know. I'm going to put it C tier because she herself doesn't seem that interesting, but the other characters do. See, Stark, I've actually seen an edit of this fight, and it makes me want to put it A tier because Stark looks sick. But yeah, A tier. Fern, again, I don't know anything about Fern, but I'm going to put her C tier as well. Ichigo versus Ginjo. Who even is that? Is that from like the filler arc? I don't know. The fact that I've never heard of Ginjo, though, I think I'm going to put it D tier because like I've heard of like every character from Bleach, even though I haven't finished it. I don't know who Ginjo is. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe it's from Thousand Year, but either way, I'm still putting it D tier. I don't care. Usopp versus Perona. This was a pretty good fight, but it's gonna have to go B tier. Frieren and Fern. See, both of them together, I feel like might be gas. I'm gonna put it A tier. I don't know though. The first Luffy versus Lucci. This is A tier. Let's be for real. Luffy versus Eneru. Yo, this. I fucked with this heavy. I'm going A tier though. It's not S tier. Megumi versus Special Grade. Yo, why are they doing my goat? My goat, bro. They did him so dirty in the new manga. But luckily, confirmed it's not canon. So, you know, he ain't died. He ain't died of that grade 3 curse. He would never. Megumi versus Special Grade curse though. I mean, it's kind of mid. B tier. It's just setting up. Itadori versus Choso. A tier. That's pretty good. Jotaro versus Dio. Now, I think people are gonna get mad that I'm not putting this in S tier because I'm not. It's iconic, but it's not even close to being the best fight in JoJo's. Like, it's really, I don't even think it's top 5. It might not even be top 10. Like, there's a lot better fights in this. It's still A tier, but it's definitely not S tier. This, I really want to put this S tier, dude. This was awesome. Megumi, Maki, Toji, and Nanami versus Dak. Yeah, but it's just, I'm gonna have to put it A tier because the villain there wasn't that cool. It was just Toji coming back was sick. Hikari versus Kashimo. Isn't this the fight that like never ended? I love Hikari though. I'm gonna have to go B tier though because I'm pretty sure that fight lasts forever. Oh, the fraud. Yuta's bitch. Yuta's in it. Yeah, it's gonna have to go D. Maki versus Zenin Clan. I haven't read any of this. I think it'll be S tier, but I don't want to put ones S tier I haven't seen, so I'm gonna have to give it A tier. I mean, it just depends. I don't know, because it's probably S tier. It probably will be, right? But, like, I can't justify myself putting it S tier, so I'm going to put it A. Tanjiro versus Rui is B. That's kind of mid. Tanjiro versus Daki, this kind of sucked. I mean, it wasn't until Gyutaru got involved, so I'm going to put C. And then Tengen versus Gyutaro. Oh, beautiful fight. A tier. Rengoku versus Akaza. Honestly, I thought this fight was stupid. D tier. Bad. Hashira and Genya versus Kokoshibo. I don't really know anything about this. I stopped watching Demon Slayer. I'm going to keep it a buck. I did watch the movie, though. The movie was really good. The show, just in my opinion, is not that great. I don't know. I'm going to put it B tier, I guess. Inosuke and Kanao versus Doma. How is she still alive? Is it really Inosuke and Kanao? Because in the movie, she definitely died, bro. I'm going to keep it a buck. It's just Inosuke versus Doma. But I actually like that fight. I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm going to put it A. Yo, they did not put this on here. Josuke's Beetle versus Jobin's Beetle. I want to be funny and put it S tier, but I'm putting it D. Josuke versus Wonder Ryu. Now, I'm still reading this part, so I haven't got to Josuke versus Wonder Ryu quite yet. But I'm sure it's going to be great. So I'm going to put it A tier. I think it'll be A tier. Johnny and Gyro versus Funny Valentine. Now, this was goated. I still don't like Johnny as a character, but this was a goated fight, so I'm going to put it A tier. Gyro versus Ringo. Another A tier. That's really good. Johnny versus Alternate Dio. This one's like B tier because it didn't really last that long. Jolene and Friends versus Poochie. Does it include the way? I guess it does include the way it ends, right? I think I have to put it S tier then, because like the way the fight ended, it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. So I'm gonna put it S tier. Fuck it. Polnareff, my goat. This is an A tier though. Polnareff ain't there for the fights. I mean, he can't. But like, oh man. Iggy, look out. A tier. Jotaro versus Elder Dabi. This one's good, actually. I'm going to put a B, though, because it's definitely better. Steely Dan, I'm going to put C. It's not the worst, but it's definitely better. Joseph versus Wama, I'm going to say B tier as well. Joseph versus Cars, I'm honestly still going to say B tier. Joseph just doesn't have the most interesting fights, but he's super entertaining. Morio versus Yoshikage Akira, A tier. Tanjiro and Hashira versus Muzan. Tanjiro and Muzan in the same sentence, I'm going to put this C. There's no way this is good. Gojo versus Sukuna. It's going to go A tier for me, but everybody knows what happened to the GOAT. All right, now we're getting a little bit of lag. Itadori and Nobara versus the Death Paintings. This one was fun. It's definitely not near the best for JJK, so I'm going to put it B. Sukuna versus Jogo. Again, another really fun, interesting one, but it's, again, a squash match. You know Sukuna's winning. B. Geto versus Toji. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm remembering that. I'm still going to say B, because this one was short. No, this was like one episode. Or maybe like an episode and a half. Yeah, it was cool, but I'm going to have to go B. Sukuna versus Maharaga. Again, it's like there's no threat really here, and nothing really shocked me, so I might have to go B. Like, it was a good fight, but was it anything crazy? Not really. I'm going to go B. Itadori and Nanami versus Mahito. This was a good one. I'm still going to go B, though. I don't really care for Nanami. Itadori and Todo versus Hanami. Now, if it was just season 1, I'd probably put this in A tier, but after seeing Itadori and Todo fight with each other again versus Mahito, I'm going to have to put this in B, because they just had so much more cooking, right? This one is S tier. This was beautiful. It's not my favorite fight from JJK, so there should be another one on here if they left it, but I don't know. But that's a beautiful fight. Thorfinn versus Snake. I'm not a big fan of Vinland Saga, but I do like Thorfinn's fights, and I remember this one. I'm going to put it B. Thorfinn versus Thorkel. See, this was one I didn't really enjoy that much, but I still think it's B. This is another show I don't really like, Attack on Titan. I know people don't like my opinions that I don't like Attack on Titan or Vinland Saga, but I didn't say they're bad shows. I do think Attack on Titan's overrated. I don't think Vinland Saga is overrated, just to be clear. I just don't like it. I mean, I totally see the reason why people say it's as good as it is. Attack on Titan, I really don't. It's pretty basic, if I'm going to be honest, other than maybe Season 4. But Seasons 1 and 2 are incredibly predictable and basic, so yeah, I'm just not a big fan of that, and I don't really understand how people have it so highly rated. It ain't that good. But anyway, this isn't a why Attack on Titan's overrated video, so let's just get to it. Eren versus Armored Titan. Whatever, like, C. Escanor versus Gallant of Truth. Again, not one I've watched, but I've seen clips from this fight. I'm going to... The problem with Escanor's fights, all his fights are going to be short, because he's just going to one-shot him when it gets noon. But is this the one where he said, who decided that, or is that against Estarossa or whatever? I think that was against Estarossa, but this one's still cool. I'm going to put it B. Yeah, this one I've seen a lot. I'm going to go A tier. Scar versus King Bradley. Now this, the only problem with this fight, and the reason it's not going to land in S tier, is because it really didn't end, right? So I'm going to put it A tier. Edward Elric versus Dwarf in the Flask. This is S tier. Easily. Roy Mustang versus Envy. Also S tier. Really good fight. Hisoka versus Krollo. I've seen a lot of this. I'm going to put it S tier because some of this, like, even just like the stuff they say is, yeah, it's got to go S tier. Mash and Wahlberg versus Innocent Zero. You might as well just put Mash versus Innocent Zero. I'm gonna be honest, but this is pretty good. I'd put it B. There's definitely better fights in Mash. Killua versus Yuppie. Again, it's gonna go B. Just way better fights. Gon versus Pito. I'm gonna put it A. Netero versus Meruem. I'm also gonna put A. Reagan versus come on. S tier. Mob versus Koyama. Again, just a lot better. I'm gonna go B. Versus Toichiro. Again, I honestly think there's way better. I'm going B. Dimple versus Psycho Helmet. S tier. Come on. This fucking picture. Mom versus KG. I'm gonna say A tier. Saitama versus Genos. Again, A tier. Saitama, Genos, Moomin Rider versus Deep Sea King. Another A tier. Pretty good. Man, what they did to One Punch Man, right? Simon versus Anti-Spiral. Gurren Lagann's another one I dropped. I don't like mechs at all. So, yeah, I personally just had to quit watching. But this looks sick, so I'm gonna put it A. Saitama versus Boros. A. Very good fight. Oh, man. This is a good one. A tier, Weather Report. Giorno versus Chocolata. Honestly, I didn't really care for this fight. I'm going to put it C tier. There's so much better. Giorno Mista versus Nacio. A tier, for sure. Brunarati. Fuck, what am I saying? I combined his names. A tier, though. Risotto versus Doppio. Dude, the worst part about this fight is the way it ended. But this fight was a banger. A tier, for sure. Josuke versus Rohan. Again, a fight I didn't really care for. I think Rohan, you're either like... There's two types of JoJo fans I've seen. You either like me and really don't like Part 4 at all and also don't really care for Rohan, or you love Rohan and love Part 4. Like, those are the only two types of JoJo fans I've met. I personally don't like Part 4. I think it's... Well, not that I do like Part 4, but it's the worst, by far, in my opinion. Maybe I should do a video ranking all the JoJo's parts. You know, I'm gonna write that while we rank this, ranking all the JoJo parts. But anyway, let's do Josuke versus Rohan. I think C tier. I don't really care for ranking that. Giorno versus Diavolo. I'm honestly gonna put S tier. This is super goated. Ash versus Gladian. I don't remember a lot of these, but it's from the new one, so I'm going D tier pretty easily right there. And then we have, let me see, Ash Ketchum versus Tobias. I do remember this fight. I'm gonna give it B though, because it's not anything crazy. Now Paul. Yo, this is the best fight in all of Pokemon. I'm gonna keep it a buck. So I'm gonna put it S tier just for that, right? So let me see. Ranking every JoJo part. All right, cool. Anyway, Ash Ketchum versus Cynthia. I do remember this one. Not anything crazy. I'm gonna go B. Versus Sawyer. Didn't really like this fight. C. Versus Leon. Again, C. Elaine. Probably gonna go C. The fights in Pokemon just aren't that good. I'm gonna keep it a buck. At least the newer ones. Well, actually, they've never really been that good. Gohan versus Majin Buu. I hate Gohan. If you ever watched my videos before, you know I hate Gohan. So D tier. Goku versus Frieza. Again, people are going to be mad I don't put this in S. Is it iconic? Yes. Are there way better fights in Dragon Ball? Yes. I'm going to go A tier, though. It is a good fight. See, this is an S tier fight. Goku versus Majin Vegeta. This is like the most Saiyan v Saiyan. Like this. Yeah, dude. S tier. Come on. Gohan versus Cell. Also S tier. This was the last time Gohan was cool. S tier. Oh, man. This is... It's got to be S tier. Lemillion versus Overhaul, the best villain in My Hero, by the way. I don't really get the argument. The only other argument I could see is Twice. I think you know, again, I'm getting a little off topic here, but people are like, oh, Shigaraki, no, you're wrong. Shigaraki's the best or All For One. Y'all only think they're the best because they're the strongest. They are not as good of characters as Overhaul and Twice. Like, they're just not. I'm, you know, not trying to hate on people who think that, you know, at the end of the day, it's just an opinion. But still, I stand on it. Overhaul is a way better character than both those two. Lemillion also goated S tier. Deku versus Shigaraki. It's A tier. I mean, it's a decent fight. Deku versus Lady Nagant. This fight honestly sucked. I'm going D tier. I did not care for this at all. Deku and Friends versus Hero Killer Stain. The fight itself wasn't that good, but the way it ended, I'm going to have to put it A. It was similar to, like, the Jolene one, right? Deku versus Class 1A. This one also pissed me off. Like, stop being a little fucking geek and get back to class, buddy. Like, oh, yeah, they want me, so I'm going to go by myself. Guess what, buddy? They're going to capture you, kill you, and then they're going to kill all of them. Like, you're stupid. So this is Deku's fault. This is going in D, right? Deku versus Overhaul. I feel like it's got to go S tier. It's Deku's best fight, for sure. Overhaul kind of carries, though. But yeah, S tier. Mirko versus High-End Nomus. Yo, get this fraud off my screen, D tier. Shout out Mirko, but dude, you're a fraud for losing that. Deku versus Muscular. Honestly, pretty good fight, but I am going to put it B tier just because they're so much better. Endeavor versus Wing Nomu. Good fight. Again, it's a Nomu, though, so I'm going to go B tier. Todoroki versus Bakugo. This one's not as memorable to me. This is the final, right? Because Todoroki beat Deku, and then it was Todoroki versus Bakugo. Yeah, just not really as memorable. I'm going to go B tier. All Might versus All For One. Again, it's just short. I'm going to go B tier. All Might versus Nomu. C tier. It's a Nomu. Oh, my God. Dude, whoever made this list knows ball. S tier. Dude, cool bars to go. S tier. Toguro, man. Hiei versus Bui. A tier is a good fight. Yusuke versus Jin. I got B. After seeing what the rest of the tournament had in hold, it's a B tier. Yoko Kurama versus Karasu. This was legendary. I'm going to go A tier. Alright, now these are... I don't even know what I'm looking at here. This is one I have no... What is Hyakimar? I don't know, dude. He has like 3 eyes. Looks kind of cool. I get B tier. I don't know. Guts versus Griffith. I haven't seen. I'm gonna go A tier. I don't know though. This is all of them versus Kaido. Again, let's be honest, this is a wash. C tier. Odin versus Kaido. I never really liked Odin, and I'm not the biggest fan of Kaido anyway, so I'm going C tier. Straw Hats versus Kuma. Good fight. A tier. Kurapika versus Uvagin. This is one of the best squash matches. Like obviously the best squash match. Well, it was really Roy versus anybody, let's be honest, but that's so legendary. This one's like almost there, so I'm going to have to get A tier. Nico Robin versus Black Maria, honestly kind of boring. I'm going C. Frankie versus Senior Pink, S. So easily S. Zoro versus Killer. If this was longer, oh man, I'd love to see him actually fight, but I'm going to have to go A tier because it's so short. Luffy versus Sanji. Again, Sanji's a fraud. He likes minors, blah, blah, blah. I could go on and on again why I don't like Sanji. But he's going D tier because that was stupid. Law versus Blackbeard. Yo, he got turned into a bad bitch. B tier, it's just short again. Law and Kid versus Big Mom. S tier, one of the best fights. Supernova versus Yonko. This was legendary. I'm going S tier as well. Mechamaru versus Mahito. That looks like Gurren Lagann, though. Am I tripping? That is no, that is okay. That just really looks like Gurren Lagann. Actually a decent fight, but again, another one that's kind of short. You knew what was going to happen, so I'm going B tier. Yo, Attack on Titan fight's not making a high. C tier. Hange, dude, she's one of the 2 good characters in the show, so I give her A tier. The World versus Eren Yeager. See, I'm just not interested. I'm gonna keep it a buck. C tier. Eren versus Female Titan, also C tier. That was just not good. Versus Warhammer Titan, C tier. Levi versus Titan Beast. I don't like Levi either. C tier. Epsilon versus Pluto. I don't know what this is. That sounds familiar, though. Mad familiar. Who's Epsilon? That sounds familiar. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm looking at. I'm going to go B tier. Adam versus Zeus. See, I want to watch the show Record of Ragnarok, but I heard the story is absolute ass, but the fights are pretty good, which, you know, is fine. I still have no interest in watching Adam versus Zeus, and I'm pretty sure Adam wins this. Sorry if that's... Well, I don't even know. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he wins it, and it's like... this is... I don't know. This fight I have no interest in. I'm going D. Zero interest. It just does not look good to me. Asta, Finral, and Vanessa versus Veto. This was only good when Yami showed up. I'm going to give it C to keep it a buck. Oh my god. This is S tier. S tier. Finral versus Longest. Hell yeah. Asta, Yami, Dante, A tier. Captain's Battle. This is another S tier. Kind of showed who the strongest was. Marilena Fuegoleon versus Ryan Veto. Another A tier. Julius versus Patri. I don't want to say what I know. I'm going to go A tier. Asta and Allies versus Zagred. B tier. Yami versus Patri. B tier. Oh, dude. Yo, there's no way there's any fight from the show. This show's so stupid. It's going D tier. Asta versus Lieb. Not a fight, so I'm going to put it in D tier. Cool moment, but not really a fight. I would not consider this a fight. I'm going D tier. Dorsch versus Demon Hounds. What the hell is this? That looks... What am I looking at? That looks stupid. I'm going D tier. Yeah, D tier 100%. Bedivere versus Gawain. I don't know, C tier. Shiro versus Kirei. I've only watched Fate Zero, so this is Fate Stay Night because Kirei lived. Oh, interesting. Because yeah, Shiro obviously didn't fight Kirei in Zero. I like Shiro from the little bit I saw him in Fate Zero and clips I've seen of him, and I like Kirei, so I think this is a good fight. I'm gonna say A. I mean, I don't know. Okay, so this is from Fate Zero. No. Yeah, it is. Okay. the way this fight ended wasn't great. I'm gonna go B tier. Kiritsugu versus Kirei. This is a great fight. A tier. Gilgamesh versus Hercules. I like Gilgamesh, so I'm gonna say A tier, but I haven't seen that. Hercules versus Saber Alter. I don't really care for Saber. I'm gonna say B. Gilgamesh versus Shiro. Again, I'm gonna say A tier because I like Gilgamesh. Shiro looks cool. Archer versus Lancer. Say A tier. It looks cool. Gilgamesh versus Iskandar. This was a good fight. A tier. Awesome. Medusa versus Saber. Doesn't sound interesting to me. C tier. Hassan. Sorry, I'm not watching a fight with Hassan. Let's keep it a buck. D tier. Shiro versus Archer. Again, like Shiro, like Archer. A tier. Babylonia versus Tiamat. I don't know. C tier. Doesn't sound interesting. Gilgamesh. B tier, but Enkidu doesn't sound all that cool. Gabby Mara. See, this is Hell's Paradise now. I'm gonna say B tier. I don't like the way this is looking. D tier. Achilles versus Chiron. I have no idea what this is, but this character looks dumb. So I'm going to go C tier. Okay, so this was Saber versus Berserker. This is a good fight. I'll say A tier. Jinwoo versus Hunters. C tier. It was okay. Archer versus Hercules. I don't know about Hercules, so I'm going to say B tier. Jinwoo versus Kang Tae-shik. Bad. D tier. Mikey versus Izana. I haven't got this far in Tokyo Revengers. I don't know why I just stopped watching it. I actually like the show, but I like Mikey, although that guy looks goofy as hell, so I'm gonna say B. I'm gonna go B. Luffy versus Bellamy. I like this fight a lot. I'm going A tier. Team 7. Ooh, it's gotta go S tier, right? Like one of the best fights in all the anime, and in the first 20 episodes, yeah, we were eating on that. Might Guy versus Madara. Ooh, I gotta go S again. That's a banger. Jiraiya versus Pain. I'm gonna go A tier. Naruto versus Neji. B tier. Shikamaru versus Hidan. A tier so easily. You know, Sakura's only good fight. It's an A tier though. Sasori was cool. Sasuke versus Itachi. S tier was so good. Kakashi versus Obito. Don't even give me Sharingan killer. They call me Naruto. Alright, S tier. Sorry. Rock Lee versus Gaara. S tier so easily. Naruto versus Gaara. I didn't really care for that. B tier. Naruto versus Pain. A tier. Naruto and Sasuke versus Momoshiki. A tier. Obito versus Konan. A tier. Goated fight. Naruto versus Sasuke. Why is Siri going off? Naruto versus Sasuke 2, A tier. Naruto versus Sasuke 1 is better, but I'd still say A tier. I'm not gonna say S tier. Yo, D tier. Bad. Gote 13 versus Aizen. I feel like this is a banger. A tier. Willem versus the White Whale. What am I looking at here? Is that that ain't Mashal? What is that? I don't know. C tier. Goku versus Vegeta. So this is the first one. It's okay. B tier. Rimuru, dude. Anything with Rimuru is going D. Shinra versus Sho. That was a good fight. A tier. Benimaru versus Demon. This is literally just the iconic moment. The fight didn't even exist. He just one-shotted him. B tier. Guts versus 100 Men. Oh, dude, this is... I've seen close to this. A tier. Fugo. Dude, no, fuck Fugo. D tier. Yuno versus Real. I do not remember this happening. So for how forgettable it is, C tier. Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man versus Makima. Okay. I don't know. I don't really care for Makima. I'm going to go B tier. Versus Bomb Devil. I watched this. Beam carries this fight heavily, but I would say A tier is a pretty good fight. Versus Gun Fiend. It's got to be A tier, right? They've been building it all the time. Goku versus Jiren. I think this fight's overrated. B tier. Gogeta versus Broly. Now this is S tier. This is a good fight. Piccolo versus Android 17. Yo, this is forgettable as hell. C tier. Sasuke versus Deidara. Good fight. I'd say A tier. Sasuke versus Orochimaru. B tier. He kind of just stomped him. This is S tier. Sasuke. He was walking. Mr. Walk him down, right? So yeah, Aaron and Armin versus Colossal Titan. I think I should have seen this. I think. C tier. Zazie. Who is Zazie? What am I looking at? Is this Blue Lock? That would even make sense. I don't know what I'm looking at here. I'm going to C. Aladdin versus Titus. I want to watch this. I'm going to say B. I don't know. Laos and Shuro's parties versus the Chimera. Is this a Dungeon Meshi? I don't know. C tier. Guts versus Serpico. These don't look that good. C tier. Mithran versus Shadowlord. C tier. Kenshin versus Shishio. A tier for sure. Gintoki versus Takasugi. A tier. Haven't seen, but it looks good. Araragi versus Kiss Shot. I don't know what I'm looking at. B tier. Muchiro is a fucking bomb. D tier. Atsushi versus Octagawa. This is a good fight. I'd give it A tier. Atsushi and Octagawa versus French. This, again, it was A tier. It was solid. Choji. This fight was actually pretty good. I'm going to say A tier, honestly. Luffy and Zoro versus S-Hawk. I just don't care about S-Hawk, right? Like, this fight was kind of stupid. I'm on B, whatever. Garp versus Kuzan, A tier, was a really good fight. Sakura versus Togame. This is a good fight, too. I say A tier. Naruto and Sasuke versus Jigen, B tier. I do not like Dandadan. I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm going C tier. Naruto, Sasuke, Boruto, and Kawaki versus Ishiki. We got Baryon mode, I guess. I guess A tier. Okaruna Momo versus Turbo Granny. Okay, so I've seen this. Did not like it. D tier. Todoroki family versus Dabi. B tier. Bakugo versus Shigaraki. Yo, this S tier. I don't care, bro. Ippo versus Vork. Oh my god, this guy knows ball. S tier. Come on. Ippo versus Sendo 2. Yo, this guy is on one. Yes, S tier. That's the... Oh, man. Ippo versus Date. It was A tier. Ippo versus Mashiba. I don't really like Mashiba, so I'm going B tier. Ippo versus Miyata. I'm going to say A tier. You know, it started everything off. Miyata versus Mashiba. Again, B tier. I don't really like Mashiba. Ainz versus Shaltier. I have no interest in this. Also, Shaltier doesn't look like a cool character. Takamura versus Hawks. This is in the, like, newer stuff I haven't seen, so I don't know. But I love Takamura, so I'm going to go A tier. Richter and Ally. Dude, what am I looking at? This is Castlevania? This looks stupid. C tier. Trevor, Sifia, and Alucard versus Dracula. B tier, I guess. I don't know. Ippo versus Sendo. First one's still A tier. Goku versus Moro. B tier. Shadow. I don't know anything about Eminence and Shadow. Sorry if you can hear my dogs. I'm going to go B tier. Okay, 1v2. I'm going to go A tier. Kafka. I like Kafka. He looks cool. I'm going to say A tier. I don't know. Kaiju number 9. I'm going to go B tier. ReZero. I just don't see this being interesting. C tier. Dude, that character looks... I hate the way that character looks. I'm going C again. Jinwoo versus Baruka. C tier. Jinwoo versus Igris. B tier. Chihiro. Ooh, yo, this guy knows ball, bro. A tier. Come on, bro. Come on, A tier. Come on, A tier. That was the best one, though. But no S tier's quite yet. Priscilla versus Sirius. I don't know what I'm looking at. C tier. Ichi and Desk versus World. I just don't like these names. D tier. Garfield versus Bow Hunter. I know this is ReZero, but look at that name and look at that name and tell me this can go anywhere but D if you've never watched the show. Lancelot versus Arthur. 7 Deadly Sins. I don't know. C tier. Saitama versus Garo. S tier. Obviously. Vegeta versus Granola. S tier. Ichigo versus Uwatch. Again, don't like Quincy's. Hopefully Ichigo slams them. B tier. Rock Lee and Garo versus Kimimaro. A tier. That's a good fight. Buddha versus Zero. Fuck you. A tier. Raiden versus Shia. B tier. Poseidon. I'll fuck with Poseidon. I'm going A tier. Jack the Ripper versus Hercules. That sounds like a good one. A tier. Leonidas versus Apollo. A tier sounds good. C tier. Nikola Tesla versus Beelzebub. Yo, put that shit in D. Qin Shi Huang versus Hades. That sounds fire. A tier. Lu Bu Fengxian versus Thor. That sounds fire too. A tier. Jinwoo versus Ant Prince. Best fight in solo leveling. Probably the only good fight. I'm going to say A tier. Zoro versus Lucci. This fight pissed me off. It's going C tier because Lucci's just a little pussy. C tier. Luffy versus Kizaru. This fight lasted 1 episode, gang. D tier. Yase family versus Evil Eyes Dandadan. Going D tier. This is the worst show ever created, bro. The fights aren't in D tier. The worst show of all time. Oh, man, this was a good one. S tier. Best fight in Demon Slayer. Ghostblade versus Isol. I haven't got this far. I'm watching this show right now. So, yeah, because I just got to all the Isol stuff. I'm watching this right now. And I'm fucking with this. It's probably going to be A tier. Everything in the show's been really good. Isol versus Isol was A tier, right? I seen that. Maybe I did see Ghostblade, but I don't remember him. If I did, then that definitely doesn't go A tier, but I think I haven't seen that yet. I just hit my funny bone as well. Ow, by the way. Tanjiro and Giyu versus Akaza. I used to hate Akaza. Then I saw this fight, and I was like, wow. Honestly, I'm putting it S tier. That's a good fight. Hero X versus Commission. Again, I haven't got this far, but it's probably good, so A tier. Linling versus Godai. A tier. That was a good fight. Again, haven't got this far. Nice. How does Nice come back? I don't know. A tier. Queen versus Boa. That's not the same show. No way. I don't know what that is. I'm going to say C tier. Osagiri versus Dump. Yo, this looks ass. D tier. Nagamo versus Minimalist. Is this... I cannot tell what that is. Nagamo sounds familiar, though. I feel like I've seen this. I'm going C tier. Sakamoto versus Apart. Oh, that's why. It's definitely Sakamoto Days, but I haven't seen this. Oh, this is B tier. Shin and Allies versus Shinya. Oh, that looks kind of cool. B tier. Cleaners versus Amo. This is Gachakuda, I think. B tier. Yo, how much more we got, actually? Like, this is taking so long. Sorry, I got to check real quick. Oh. Well, I shouldn't have checked because, I mean, we're almost done. Zonka versus Jabra. I want to watch the A tier. Jabra again. I'm going to A tier. Bakugo versus All For One. S tier. All Might versus All For One 2. I haven't seen this yet. I'm assuming A tier. Date versus Martinez. Also going to assume A tier. And that's it. That's our list. So I will scroll slowly while I outro this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this. Again, you can pause it at any moment if you want to look in the categories as well. Maybe I'll do one that I make myself so I know all the fights and can actually rank them. And yeah, with that being said, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, everything like that. I have my Discord in the description too. Once I have 50 members, I'm doing a video with you guys, which will be pretty fun. And then as well, again, I have my Twitch in the description too. So, you know, if you guys want to hear more of me, I stream literally every single day. So if you miss me one day, you can just check the next. And I should be live. I stream quite a bit as well. I also have my other channel in the description as well, where I'm going to be honest, I don't really know what I'd be doing right now. Yeah, I'm a little lost on there, but I'm figuring things out, you know, just as all of you are. So if you guys want to see more of that, then yeah, we've made it to the end of the video. So thank you guys for watching. Peace.